Okay, great. Then we're live. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Sean, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Okay, great. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Air Force Podcast. I'm Yaku.
And I'm Arnaim. How are you guys?
Hello, Marna. And then we have Sean on today, Sean Williams. And he's an environmentalist and actually just a great person overall. Hello, Sean. How are you doing?
Hey, fine, thank you. Thank you for introducing me like that. It's very kind of you.
Oh, no, well, it's the honest truth. What can I say?
Thank you.
Sean, you have done a lot of work and you're doing work that is recycling and you go the last thing I saw of you were in Zanzibar.
Yes.
And you did cleanup work there. And then you take all the garbage out of the cleanup work and out of the oceans, and then they manufacture clothes, hats, bags from that.
Yes.
How does that process work?
Well, look, to be honest with you, we never really got to I was in Zanzibar for 2 years, and I never really got to the recycling process because there is no such thing as recycling in Zanzibar. A lot of people in Zanzibar are upcycling, so they will turn wine bottles into glasses for drinking water or wine or whatever it is, and then there's other people that are taking plastic bottle caps, melting them down, and then turning them into key rings, lampshades and stuff. So, recycling in Zanzibar is something that is not available at the moment. So I decided to do something different where I was using used cement bags, because Zanzibar is probably one of the fastest growing island economies in probably the world. I think it was voted the first or second best destination in the world this year as a tourist destination. So, the building in Zanzibar, it's like a mini Ibiza. So you could imagine how many bags of cement are being used to build homes. And the cement generally comes from either Saudi Arabia or comes from Nigeria, Dangote. So you see hundreds of bags of cement lying on the floor next to these built houses, and you see also them floating in the ocean, which I first saw, and I was worried because, it's so easy for a fish or a turtle or any form of sea creature to swim inside and then literally get trapped and died. So I took my very first thing I did. I took out a cement bag from the ocean, and I thought to myself, how can I turn this into something useful? And the very first thing I created was a laptop bag, which I must tell you, it took me about 2 months to convince the local tailors. So, the local tailors, they are used to making cushions, curtains, bed linen, the simple stuff. When you try and say to a guy, hey, here's a cement bag, turn it into a laptop bag, for them, it's like talking to a grade 2. They just don't understand it. And I eventually got someone to make me this idea, and I was able to literally get a laptop bag made out of cement bag, and then we obviously inside we put Tanzanian fabrics, and to make it a bit more decorative and a bit more usable. And from there, I created a range which, after about a year and a half, I've got about 60 products now that are all upcycled. So it's not recycled, it's upcycled. So yeah, we've created so many products. Like you said, the hats, this is not one of them, but what we did with the hats that we made is this peak part would be a 5-liter tomato sauce bottle that would be used, this piece. So this is plastic. And obviously the rest would be Tanzanian fabrics. So yeah, it's been a long journey of trying to make new products that would service mostly the hotels, because 90% of the business in Zanzibar is hotels, and 10% or 20% would maybe be tourists. So I had to just try and get the mix right. And at the moment, I left Zanzibar in December, and I'm back in Johannesburg since December. So it's been 6 months where I haven't been in. I haven't been able to create new ideas. But the lady that's taken over from me, who's helping Live Life Always, she's now really done a good job in the sense of using old kites, because kite surfing in Zanzibar is massive.
Yeah.
So she's used old kites to create different types of bags, stronger bags, She's created hats out of kites. She's created so many different wonderful products, which I've just put on Instagram recently. So backpacks for kids. So it's very exciting, what she's doing.
Okay. Sean, and did you say your journey began 2 years ago? Is that correct?
It was about 3 years ago when I was in Johannesburg, when we went out of COVID. Probably the middle of 2020 to the middle of 2021, I started trying to clean up my area where I lived, which was in Fourways. And,
Yeah.
I started doing cleanups around Fourways, which is a very dirty place because there's so many taxi ranks. And in a space of 1 year, I built 100 dustbins, which I focused mostly on the taxi ranks because the city of Joburg would put one dustbin and then you'd have 30 taxis and then you'd have another dustbin, 50 taxis, another dustbin. So it was just a pigsty wherever the taxis were. So I built dustbins and they're still there today. I built 100 dustbins and I collected about 50,000 kilograms of trash in that 1 year, or maybe even more. And then I lost everything. I lost everything, like my house, my car, my business, everything. So I moved to Zanzibar and I tried to recreate the same idea there. And I'm the only person ever in Zanzibar to have ever built dustbins, which were a different type of dustbin because it was a wooden structure with a roof and a hanging bag, where I built 74 dustbins before I left. I'm the first ever in Zanzibar to create 70 dustbins, which were mostly for the community because the community don't have any municipal collections or any municipal support. So they literally burn everything, or they dump everything, or they throw stuff into the ocean. So I try to create these points in a small area of Zanzibar called Jambiani, which is about 7 kilometers. I try to create about 74 dustbins in that area just because I wanted to try and help educate and help the community. So you didn't have these large dumping sites near to where people were living, which is, as you know, it's very unhealthy because they burn it. You're burning plastic with tin foil, with milk cartons, with coconut leaves, with everything. So it's just very toxic.
Yes, and then obviously that burning of all that toxic ingredients, it's going to have a huge effect then on the whole ecosystem.
Exactly.
In Zanzibar as well.
Yeah, look, I think,
Okay.
Zanzibar for me, I was interviewed by at least 4 or 5 international documentary companies over the last 2 years. For me, it was, Zanzibar is literally a ticking time bomb because, there is absolutely no real support from government to improve sanitation, waste, electricity, or anything there. They just it's boomed. It's almost like a mini Ibiza now, where I think there's some big challenges facing Zanzibar and Tanzania when it comes to this island. But it's a big issue because what's happening is the local communities. I mean, there are people that are moving from mainland to Zanzibar to try and get jobs because there's more hotels, there's more tourists, and more money. And I just don't know if the infrastructure is able to support these people. It's pretty much like the Zimbabweans moving to South Africa for more better opportunities. So, this creates an overload it's just an overload on every form of infrastructure, sanitation, housing,
everything,
crime.
through the bank.
Even the crime in Zanzibar is starting to get worse. Yeah, so.
But Zanzibar, all you see is it's a pretty port. Everything that you see about Zanzibar is always, it is nice, it is clean.
Yeah.
We always see everything that is beautiful and nothing behind the scenes, I would like to say. Because on social media, on the TV, on the internet, it's always the nice waters.
Yeah, but that's
the nice hotels, as you say.
No, you're right. But I mean that's any tourist destination, isn't it? I mean, you have these drones that fly over these beautiful, pristine beaches, and and really, if you have to ask them to do drone footage over the local villages, you'd probably find, and then inside them, and moving inland from the beaches, you'd see a very different story. So let's be honest, anyone that's trying to create a perfect video for Zanzibar would edit out all the bad stuff and put all the good stuff. So there's certainly much concern when it comes to what I discussed earlier in Zanzibar. It's like Maldives. Maldives is also facing huge problems when it comes to pollution, sanitation, and how to get rid of waste on those, I think, 1,100 islands that they've got.
Yes, yes. And then why did you leave Zanzibar? Why did you come back to South Africa?
Well, but if you want to
Was
hear
it-
the real
was
story,
it-
I when I was in Zanzibar and I lost everything, I took my family there. I've got 2 young kids, and I thought I could start a new life in
Okay.
Zanzibar. That's after 4 months, we quickly ran out of money. So my wife, she came back to South Africa, and I stayed there to continue my project, because at that stage I was really still passionate and still believed in my ability to change and make money and making a change. And then we separated, my wife and I, and then crazy story, because I'm still going through it. That's why I'm actually in Plettenberg Bay. I mean, I know it sounds terrible, but I'm in Plettenberg Bay because I had a nervous breakdown, and I'm at a retreat, a wellness retreat. It's not a rehab, so I'm not in here for any form of addiction, but I'm here for a mental breakdown, because in October or November last year, my wife phoned me and said, no, come back to South Africa and be with your family, and let's try and make this marriage work. And I came back hoping for this to work, and actually all in the time she was actually in love with somebody else. Fuck, sorry my language. I'm still trying to get over that.
it's
So
okay.
she left me with
That's
somebody
fine.
else. Yeah, so I'm going
Oh,
through
we're sorry to
I'm
hear
going
about
through a
that.
divorce now, and I'm still trying to cope with why this whole thing unfolded when she really was in love with somebody else. I don't know why she brought me back here, to be honest.
And Sean, with everything you're going through, you still motivate and inspire a lot of other people. Like on Instagram, you always post the best stuff. You always post about how grateful you are and how much you appreciate everything. And how do you get that? How do you stay positive even though a lot of things is going wrong?
My friend,
What motivates you
my
then?
friend, I can tell you, I'm a human like you guys are. I mean, like the two of you. I mean, we go through life facing many challenges in life. I mean, I tried to commit suicide when I was in Zanzibar because one day I was devastated with this breakup. I had no money left. I was living almost on the beach. You must understand, I'm 53 years old. I'm not in my 20s where this type of stuff is, you do and you can pick up and go home and start a new life. I mean, I'm almost at retirement age. And the one day I had no money left, and I went to the shops to buy porridge and milk. Went inside the shop, came out, and this little boy was having a fit on the floor. I mean, this little local boy was having a fit on the floor. I could see he was having a fit or something. He was shaking. So I turned him over, and I saw he was frothing at the mouth. So I picked him up, put my porridge and my milk down. I want to cry. I picked him up, took him to the shop, and said, guys, can someone please help me here? And while I'm trying to convince these local men to try and help me, excuse my language, this little boy died in my arms.
That's fine.
What?
Yo.
So, I mean, after that, I just thought, my golly gosh, I just cannot carry on with life. And I wanted to kill myself. I just had enough of being thrown these different challenges. And then when I came home, I really believed that me and my wife could sort things out. She obviously left me for another man. And then it's been a hard journey, I must be honest. I mean, how do I stay positive? I made this retreat in Plet. I've been here for 2 weeks. I've got another 2 weeks. And every day it's about self-love. It's about trying to grow yourself and trying to not live in the past and trying to not live in the future, but to live in this present moment, because we are blessed each and every day. And funny enough, I was never really a religious person when it came to God. I was always a very spiritual person. I believe in energy, and I believe in the universe and the energy. So I've sort of, instead of trying to say to myself, okay, God as a being, I see God as a spiritual energy, as a guidance of good energy and obviously preach, when you obviously hear stuff that people preach about the Bible, it's obviously good, clean, motivational, what's it called? I don't know what to say. So the Bible doesn't preach anything negative, really, to be honest. So I've actually become quite
Okay.
a Christian, where I now face and I say, okay, dear God, please guide me, because each and every day I wake up with heartache. I wake up with pain inside of me, and I just say, God, guide me. And each and every day I get a little bit stronger. Some days I don't have good days. I mean, when you're on a retreat like I am now, you're facing your past, you're facing everything head on, face on. So it's a lot of stuff to process, a lot of stuff to get through. And it's been wonderful. I mean, I have in the 2 weeks that I've been here, I've grown tremendously to believe in God and believe in this energy power that is going to guide and make me come out the other side a lot stronger than I was with when I was maybe for the last 52 years. I don't know. I literally take 1 minute at a time, not 1 day at a time, because that's just too much. But I thank God I didn't turn to drugs or alcohol. I've always stayed a very fit, healthy person. But mentally, it's been probably the most challenging moments of my entire life, to see my wife with another man. And I have to now I've got 2 young kids, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. I don't know, but it's extremely difficult. And I just pray that I'll get through this being a good father, to be honest.
Yes, and we are sure you will. Yeah, because you motivate and you inspire a lot of people.
Thank you.
So,
It means a lot to me, because
and you do.
Thank you.
And when I see when you're posting something on Instagram, or you're putting something up, or you post a story, it's always motivational. It's always trying to help someone, trying to promote that self-love. And I think that is a very important part, is that self-love, and that even when you are struggling with it now, and mental health is a big concern these days. And even though you're struggling, you're still continuing. You're not giving up. You're actually setting an example for a lot of people out there.
I appreciate, with
a lot of people, yes, and a lot of people don't see always what is going on behind the scenes and behind all that. So to put that up and to still live your best life, don't you think it is almost as the Zanzibar effect? You're still showing everybody the best. You're still giving everything the best, and taking a step back. Everything is
I've always tried
to
to be a good, kind person. I've obviously didn't succeed too much in my marriage, and I've obviously didn't succeed too much in many things in my life. But what I can only say now is that life has to be, or for my main motto in life is be kind. Be kind, even when you're going through the worst patch of your life. And yes, there's going to be times when you say something horrible or you snap at someone, because you're obviously a human being. We're all humans. We all have emotions. Life is not easy. I just look at, like, someone was actually commenting yesterday, is that when last did you go to a braai or a dinner or anything when everyone is either talking about the government or flipping load shedding? There's just very little positivity left in this country, and we, as you, me, we're all diehards, because we live. If I look at Pletia, I look around me. It's such a beautiful country, but yet we are so engrossed in the negativity of what's happening around us. So, and then I think mental health in this country. All the rehabs. If you look at it, you do the statistics after the show. All the rehabs, mental retreats. How many people on prescription drugs? It's out of control, because we just don't know how to handle what we are going through. So, in the mornings when I write those quotes, I've realized that those quotes are my quotes. I'm not going to now copy and paste, because when you copy and paste something that, yes, it resonates with you, think, oh, wow, that's an amazing quote. That, it's not you, it's not your feeling. So I've made it my effort to try. So I write it on paper first. I read it, I absorb it for myself, and then I write it and put it on Instagram. And that's, So I'm talking to myself, but I'm also talking to the audience. And some people like it, some people don't. I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm doing it for myself first, and then I'm hopefully spreading a good word for somebody else. This is all helping me to heal, so that I don't get out of here and become a drug addict or an alcoholic or an abusive person, that's just not my character. So yes, Zanzibar, to answer your question, Zanzibar humbled me, took away a large part of my ego. We all race around with massive egos, and we all walk around with these big masks on our face where everything's fine, life's fine. Yeah, I'm just a macho man. Especially I'm talking about the females, males I'm talking about. We're all macho, and we have these, we hide behind so many facades, which is ridiculous. I mean, who are we pretending to be, really? At the end of the day, why don't you just be your authentic self? And that's what is the thing, is how many people are authentic? Probably 1%, 2%. So, I've been humbled tremendously. And I just hope and pray that God and the universe will guide me to be stronger and better in my future, in the rest of my life, so that I can, my main goal in life is to change people's perceptions and to try and make people more authentic, and to try and make people be more appreciative of this planet that we live on. Because my children, 3 and 7, I mean, do they want to grow up where they're living in a world that's just an absolute disaster?
Yes, and the current world is actually in a bit of, how would you say, it's not the best circumstances to live in currently. And social media as well, it can promote the positivity, but I think you choose to not do that. I think a lot of times, a lot of people just show the negative, and also just want to post the negatives, because I've seen a lot of things now, but and most of the stuff will be actually scams then, or incorrect information. But don't you think social media has a big effect on the negativity of people, and especially comparing people to other people? What do you think is the effect of social media on a person's, I will say, mental health or mental well-being in that regard?
I think it's made people have, the first thing for us now is instant gratification. So, if you want to order food, Mr. Delivery takes 40 minutes. I mean, I'm reading this book. Now, how's the statistics? So McDonald's, and it boils down to social media again, McDonald's was finding that their profits in their business was reducing. So they got out the most expensive survey company in the world to understand why their profits were reducing. And what they got to understand was that instead of it taking 1 minute to get a person to get their food, it was taking 2 minutes. So they realized that they had to now figure out how to now make their profits increase. So they did a survey with people saying, would you wait 2 minutes for a good food, let's say, or do you want 1 minute and you have average food? And can you believe that most people were happy to get their food in 1 minute and have food that really wasn't good? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like crazy. So they'd rather get it in 1 minute and be unhealthy than 2 minutes to be healthy, just to say. So it's instant gratification. I think social media has become a facade. It's a mask, It's the pretty girls, pretty handsome guys, big builds, how destructive the world is with. I mean, I follow all these groups about not using plastic. I mean, they post pictures of Bali and India and all these countries around the world that are just literally littered with pollution. You look and you think there's no ways, there's no hope. So, yes, you're right. I follow The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, he's the most inspiring person I've ever seen. Yes, he does gym all day, and he's always promoting how his fitness is good. But at least he's a positive person, So I think with us, we've got to also follow. But it's very easy for Dwayne Johnson to be super happy and super well built and super excited, and he gets on his private jet. And I think what I've realized is that we look at it and we just think, okay, there's no ways we're going to have that life. But so maybe it's inspirational in one way, but we've also got to realize that we've got to follow people that are, or try and be people. And it's like me. I'm writing a book now, where I'm trying to just say, hey, I'm not a Anthony Robbins, and I'm not a, what's his name, Eckhart Tolle, or I'm not these guys who are professors and doctors and stuff. I'm going to try and write a
Yes.
book where I'm just an average person with no money, and I've just gone through the most difficult chapter of my life, and I've come out to the other side with a bit of light, and try and leave some inspiration for the average person that's what my target is the person that thinks, okay, I'm going to read a book that's written by someone that's actually going through the same challenges as me and has had the same challenges as me, and they're not driving around in Ferraris and fancy jets where it's so easy to just be so motivational because...
Somebody that is relatable, someone you can relate to. And yes,
I mean, you follow Dwayne Johnson, you think, wow, what an amazing guy. But I mean, the guy's got a private jet, mansions all over the world. I mean, it's easy to be happy and, well, in a way, it's easy to be happy and motivational when you've got everything at your fingertips, So, yeah, I don't know. Social media for me is then you get to see other people's business, and it's just, but it's a tool that we have to use. I mean, imagine me now deleting Instagram and deleting Facebook and deleting everything. I mean, I'm just never going to get my message across, am I?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to know about it actually because social media is the media.
It's a tool.
The radio or the television that it was. It's a great tool.
It's a great tool. We've just got to use it in the right way. We've got to, for me, for example, use it in the right way that inspires people rather than using the wrong way to maybe benefit me, where you have photos of me looking like I'm happy, go lucky. No, just be real.
Just be real. And the book that you're writing, is it going to be published?
I'm going to try.
soon?
I've never written a book in my life. It's called Make the Change.
Yeah.
And I'm about 20 pages into it. Obviously, I'm trying to do it while I'm here, but obviously here you get a lot of assignments every day, a lot of work and a lot of therapy. So I'm going to try and write this book in the next couple of months. But I've realized that I'm going to have to draw a lot of the knowledge and a lot of the writing from other people's books, because everyone, I think, that writes books takes bits and pieces from other people's books. And then obviously I'm going to take a lot of it from this journey of this 4 weeks that I will be in Plet, where just the roller coaster ride that I've had. People think they come into a center and they leave you in 1 month and you perfectly healed. It's not. It's a journey. Life is a journey. It's not an instant like light switch on and off, And that's why I think drugs are out of control. Drugs and alcohol and everything is out of control because it's instant gratification. Instant. You feel great for 5 minutes. Oh, fantastic. Let me do another one. And it just gets out of control, Pornography is another one, So, let's just... let's see, my friend. I mean, like I said to you, look, firstly, I'm blessed to be on the show. I think it's you guys have made my day, because today was one of my hard days. I'm inspired to be able to talk and to hopefully reach people out there that are maybe also going through struggles, just to not give up. It's so easy to put a rope around your neck and jump off a chair, bro. It's so easy to do that. Or put a gun to your head and blow your head off. I know it sounds very dramatic, but the suicide rate is through the roof now. I mean, ADHD, which attention deficit, or ADD, in children now is out of control. It's like 9 out of 10 children are on some pills now at the age of 12, 10. We're living in a very challenging time. And I think you guys have inspired me today. I mean, just to try and be better and to follow my word on what I'm saying to you guys and to get through this. I want to get through this and come out the other side positive so I can make other people know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Sean, I just want to quickly...
Thanks a lot for being here on the show, Sean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, maar hy praat.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry. Yeah. Me and Yaku, after he DM'd you, we started talking, and he told me that you are really keen to be on the show, and we were like, yes, man, this guy is amazing. He's really nice. I mean, you have a lot of followers on Instagram and everything. And when you told us, you will join the show and it will be nice. You are excited to be on the show. It flipping awesome for us to hear that for this guy. It's always spreading positivity to be on our show. It was amazing. So just keep on doing what you are doing and spread the positivity and everything. So yeah.
Thank you. You know what for me is one thing you'll always know about me is I'm not going to sit on this 20 minutes or 30-minute interview and pretend life's amazing. I want people, you and everyone else, to know that, on Instagram, everyone thinks, oh, what an inspirational guy, what an amazing guy. But the reality is I'm here on a retreat trying to recover. So this is life, it's just, you've got to be real. You've got to be authentic so that people can resonate and say, okay, wow, he's not as strong as he looks, or, it's not as, that smile on his face is not as real as it really is. And know that I am struggling and other people are struggling. They must, they can reach out to me, to you, and to all of us. We must just reach out to each other and just, not be superficial and not try and pretend.
Yeah, and I mean that, like Jaco said earlier, it's relatable content. I mean, there is people that are gonna relate with you with this. It's not, everything isn't going to be perfect in life, and as you said, how things are, it's relatable. So there's a lot of people that can relate onto this. So yeah.
And I hope this does reach people, not for my sake, really. And maybe for your guys' sake, because it's a new show and you guys want to really get going. But for me, this is really about people just taking off those masks, just being real for once. If you feel depressed and whatever you feel, rather speak about it than hide behind drugs and alcohol and depression and suicide and abuse, and everything else. Just try and be real, because it's actually it's good to feel real. I must be honest. I've had to face many demons in this 2 weeks and 2 more weeks to go. And if people want to reach out and chat to me or chat to you guys or chat to any of their friends or reach out to psychologists or therapists, then they must do it. Don't be scared.
Yes, and I think you're correct there. And Sean, you're on social media, and where can we find you on social media? You obviously now have Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, but for all the listeners and viewers that doesn't know you, where can we find you?
So, I mean, on Instagram, it's Live Life Always. I think you got my handle there. On social media, on Facebook, it's Sean Williams, which is my main page. And then there's a Live Life Always Facebook page. And that's it for now. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on these sort of young... I mean, Twitter's been around for years. I've just never been great at Twitter, to be honest. But that's really it. It's Instagram mostly and Facebook, but my personal, and then obviously Live Life Always. But my Instagram page, anything I post on Instagram then gets linked to the Live Life Always Facebook page. So that's it, really. I'm not really big into social media in the sense of trying to, a little bit I'm posting now on LinkedIn, which is Live Life Always on LinkedIn. Trying to get that LinkedIn going. But to be honest, I wish I could be a bit better at all of this. To be honest, I wish I could be a bit better so I could get my message across to a wider audience.
Yes. And I think that, actually, everybody wants their message to spread and to spread better. And on that note, we want to thank you for being here and thank you for your time. And we want to wish you all the luck and all of the success that comes your way. And genuinely, we just hope the best.
I really thank you for that.
For the future. And
it's I thank you for this time. It's really helped me with my journey today. It's really helped me with my journey today, and I'll walk away inspired. And I think you guys are part of my journey. You're part of my healing journey. It's funny how you interview me while I'm halfway through a healing course. It could have been 2 weeks ago, which I wasn't really myself, or maybe, I don't know, but you've helped me. So I really appreciate you guys as much as you appreciate me. It really means a lot to me.
Yes, and thanks a lot, Sean. And I think then we can stop the recording. Everything's fine now.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot. Like and subscribe and go and follow Sean and go and follow us as well on social media and Instagram and YouTube and all that kind of stuff.
Let me know how you guys go along with this interview and see if it gets to people. And like I said, I'm always here to I really, I'll take anyone's calls to try and help them through their own personal battles.
Well, it is.
Thanks,
Thanks
man.
a
Okay,
lot.
Take care, eh?
We'll stop the recording.